Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Don't adjust your sets. I am somewhere different today. I'm actually in the TWA Hotel in New York City. I'm at John F. Kennedy Airport. I'm actually on my way, well, in a couple hours I will be, to Europe. I flew up this morning from Orlando to New York, and I'm waiting for my next flight, which will take me to Finland. You do the math on that one. Welcome. Glad to have you all here. Glad to have you part of the fun. And we do go live every Monday right here on YouTube. Today, it's a little different time because I will be traveling when we're supposed to do our usual live broadcast there. So, keep that in perspective. But thank you for being here. I know it's a different time, but I wanted to do a live broadcast. I didn't want to skip the week. I didn't want to do it later in the week, although we could do one later in the week. I'm just saying we're doing one here. And we're going to start today's live broadcast with the most important Royal Caribbean question out there. How many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Let's count down together. My next cruise is in six more days until Anthem of the Seas. Very excited for that one. I can't wait for that. Very, very excited. Matt Banville is here. Matt, oh my goodness. Here during when I'm live at a weird time, Matt is here. Matt says, hey, Matt, glad to see that you didn't have to Mr. T you to get you to Finland. What does Mr. T mean? I don't know what that means. Beat me up? Is that what that means? Mike Pastori is here. Hello, Mike. It's good to see you. Zach is watching from in school, brother. Respect for blowing off school, but school is more important. Please do your school stuff. This can be watched in the replay. Don't get in trouble. I don't want you to get detention or in trouble with your parents or anything like that. But glad to have you all here. And hey, maybe our friends in Europe are able to enjoy a live broadcast for once and not be like 1 a.m. or something like that. So we're also here to answer as many Royal Caribbean cruise questions as we can. So please feel free to take your questions in the chat. We did have one super chat before the broadcast began. Desiree Hall. Desiree, thank you so much for your super chat. Really appreciate you. We're actually, and as I mentioned, we're in the TWA Hotel. Guys, this is my phone, my room phone. It's actually a rotary phone. Like, it's a rotary phone. Everything here, you can see the TWA posters there. Really cool. Gordon, first time watching live. Welcome, Gordon. Glad to have you here. Usually I'm at home, but today I'm in transit, as it were. Sim wants to know best excursion for St. Kitts. Ooh, any of the tours that go around the island. There's a catamaran tour. There's a train tour. Actually, the train tour is really popular. I like that quite a bit. Spifokin is on the Allure of the Seas. Welcome, glad to have you here. Always good to have our friends on board ships, including also Alan or Eileen. I don't know if I said that right. On board Ovation of the Seas. Nice, very nice. Let's see. Brandon wants to know any thoughts on good excursions in Mazatlan. The last time I've only been to Mazatlan once. I'm going back again next month. But when I was there last time, we did an ATV tour. There are a number of ATV tours that can be a lot of fun. So I'd look at an ATV tour. Beach, the downtown is nice as well. But we did an ATV last time. So if you're wondering, so this is the airport. There's actually, people can actually walk by here. It's like where you get dropped off. It's actually an on-ramp, like right off my window over here. I'll show you. Look at this. Is there a car going to come here? Probably not. There goes a car. See? It's crazy, right? What a view. Nothing but the best here. Bill wants to know, are there sales for packages excursions over Memorial Day weekend? There almost certainly will be, Bill. But as you may or may not know, my advice to you is actually don't wait. You don't want to wait to book a package. Your best bet is there's not people walking by. It's really weird. Anyway, don't wait for a sale. Book it now. And if there's a better price over Memorial Day weekend, you can always cancel and rebook. So just keep that in mind. I got Animator Boy from the Czech Republic in here. Awesome. So glad to see we have some Europeans joining us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Debbie wants to know, I have a question. Why is Royal Caribbean overbooking so many cruises? They're really not overbooking that many cruises, Debbie. I'm guessing you maybe watch some other YouTube videos or read blogs about it. It's not that many. It just gets reported on because in a lot of cases, it's just interesting news to talk about. In my opinion, it's not a lot. It's very few. And even in situations in which they do it, I'm not defending it. It shouldn't happen. It seems to be errors. It doesn't seem to be a that's not a word. it doesn't seem to be a concerted effort. That's the word. To like do them all like that. But for whatever reason, it's happening in some amount. Debbie, last week we talked about this, and actually, if you watch the recap video from last week, which was posted on Wednesday, I talked more at length about this. But essentially, in my opinion, a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, no one's being kicked off a ship. First, they offer the people an option to cancel and rebook, and they get a very generous offer, by the way, to do so. So volunteers have always taken care of that kind of an issue there. But I don't know why in the last couple of months it seems like there's been more. Of course, don't forget that in many cases it's just a matter of it being reported online more than anything. So let me put it this way, Debbie. I personally don't pay that much attention to it. Like I've got a cruise on Anthem of the Seas next week. It doesn't even cross my mind about anything like that. It just doesn't. I don't worry about it. Let's put it that way. I don't think you should either, quite frankly. Carl wants to know, can you take water on the cruise? You can. You can take up to you can take up to 12, I should say, 12 bottles, cans of water on board. Whitney, thank you for the super chat. 12 days till Harmony of the Seas, first family cruise. No question, just a huge thanks for all that you do. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Leor, thank you for the epic super chat. Woo! Enjoy Europe. Thank you. Does Oasis of the Seas have a freshwater pool? Yes, they do. They have both. I forget which one's which, but in fact, I know for a fact the beach pool is salt water. Anyway, in general, where can I find this type of information about the pools? I believe it's in the Cruise Compass. If you look at a past Cruise Compass, Leo, we have an archive of them at royalcaribbeanblog.com. I want to say it's listed there in like the pool hours, things like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember seeing it over there. So thank you for the super chat. Michael, thank you for the super chat. My good friend, Michael S. Matt, across the fleet, what's your number one ice skating show? Oh, boy, that's a good question. I think Ice Skate. Yeah, I'm going to go with Ice Skate. How about that? Number one Aqua Theater show. Oh, Aqua 80s, not even close. Number one main theater show, Columbus the Musical on Harmony of the Seas. Really like that quite a bit. Next question. Oh, KB, I'm in the TWA Hotel in New York City. I'm at John F. Kennedy Airport waiting for my flight over to Europe. Brittany, thank you for the super chat. Love your videos. Really helps me out when booking my trip to Alaska. You're welcome. Any tips when it comes to booking the tour off ship? Is it better to book on board or with your travel agent? Good question. When it comes to shore excursions, whether it's Alaska, the Caribbean, Europe, or whatever, I always recommend don't like limit yourself and say, I'm only booking Royal Caribbean tours or I'm only booking tours on my own. But a good idea is to do exactly, ask around, right? Ask your travel agent. That's a really good place to start with. A lot of times travel agents can recommend certain operators, certain third parties that they work with that are, trustworthy. Then you can go off there. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. If they don't, that's okay too, because what I would recommend you do if you're trying to find short excursions on your own is simply Google. So Brittany, if you're going to Alaska, I'm going to pick a port. Let's say Juneau. You would type in, this is what I would do, Juneau shore excursions. So start looking for things that are there. You're going to find some big things. You're going to find like, Viator.com and a couple others, but you may also find, more specific things. Actually, it was a really cool idea, Brittany, and this has worked for me, is I'll start off and I'll find like a TripAdvisor link, right? It has like the top 20 cool things to do and, activities to do in Juneau, right? And within there, if you start digging down and reading, you might find specific tours like, Bill's seaplane tours, and that offers you excursions to certain places, and that gets the ball rolling. Another really good idea, Brittany, is the Royal Caribbean blog message boards. Yes, that's a shameless plug, but I really do think it's helpful. We have a dedicated shore excursion forum that would be good for you to check out right there. So, Justin, thank you for the super chat. Justin, I don't see a message from you. Justin, I don't see it, but thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Animator Voice, question. You wrote your Pinnacle Reach blog post before booking Anthem? No. I need to go on Anthem next week in order to have the points ready for in June. So the plan is, and it's been the plan, I'm going to turn Pinnacle in June on Navigator in the sea. So by going on this cruise, it actually, on Anthem, I should say, by going on Anthem next week, it actually gives me enough points to get me in position to turn Pinnacle on the Navigator group cruise. So just kind of worked out that way. Pete is going to see me on board Anthem of the Seas. There's two ways to read that comment. Looking forward to seeing you on Anthem of the Seas, and looking forward to seeing you on Anthem of the Seas. I'm going to assume it's the first one, but if it's the second one, be nice. Heather McDonald. I've been following you since your WW. That's Mangello, not me. WW today. I know what you meant. I've been out with the 8 different cruise lines, but every time I look to book a solo cruise 3 times instead of normal 2 times. It's supposed to be double. Basically, Heather, what you're doing is you're paying for a phantom second person, right? You're paying the double occupancy fee for that second person. So it's also kind of, and to be fair, it's hard to also do the math on what it would be really for one person, because as you know, when you look at the price and it says, hey, you can book this Mariner of the Seas cruise, 7-night cruise starting at $300 a person, and you're like, wow, $300. So for 2 people that must be $600, right? Well, yes, but then they also add fees and taxes and all these little ancillary things. Ends up being over $1,000 before you even sneeze at it, right? I know a lot of people on the Royal Caribbean Blog message boards call it royal math. It is what it is. So if that's how you're basing, what I'm trying to figure out is how you're figuring out these numbers, these calculations. But my advice to you is this, Heather: forget those numbers. It's ultimately meaningless, because the price is the price, right? It only matters in the sense that when you're looking to book a cruise solo, what's the final price? And whether it is $800, $1,000, $1,200, whatever, just go off there. Don't get yourself hung up on how it all works itself out. Like I said, it's royal math, and it just works itself out. Not the answer you're probably looking for, but as somebody who's like, I'm taking a solo cruise next week, I just looked at it and I was like, all right, the total price, reasonable. I'm going to book it. So Pat says, when is it best to book another cruise? Got rained out on my last cruise and didn't get the shore excursion offer again after it was canceled. Wait, when is it best to book another cruise? Got rained out on my last cruise and it didn't get the shore excursion offered again. I'm not sure. Like, the first part of your question makes sense, and the second part of your question doesn't make any sense. Or they're not tied together. I don't understand. It's always the best time to book a cruise as early as you can, if that makes sense. I don't know beyond that. Russ, pass me the tequila shot, Crawford. How are you, Russ? Norway, not a bad choice. I mean, first of all, as you know, Russ, I'm all about the non-sweaty places of the world. Escape from sweaty Florida. So this is all and beautiful. You've been to Alaska, I'm sure. I can't wait to see Norway. I think it's going to be equally beautiful. So can't wait. Sarah wants to know, do we know what's replacing the Skypad? Yeah, just like various activities. When I was on Mariner of the Seas, they were offering like Pilates in the morning or stretching classes, something like that. And then they would do beanbag toss. It's really creepy that people just like walking by. Like beanbag toss and dance classes, a variety of complimentary activities that are in there. Nothing specifically otherwise. Hey, Luna, thank you for the super chat. I'm a big Alf fan. Was there any Alf Royal Caribbean merchandise? Unfortunately not, but that crossover never occurred, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's too bad. Tyler says, my check-in for Anthem of the Seas opens tomorrow on the app. Can I book a boarding time without entering any information for now? Yes, if you do it through the Royal Caribbean app, not the website. So, yep. Let's see here. Jennifer wants to know, have we done a video tour of Adventure? We've not. I'm pretty sure we haven't. I'm like 99% sure we have not. We've done our sister ships, but we've not done Adventure yet. But it's on the list. We're eventually going to get to them all, but we don't have it anytime soon, unfortunately. So I'm going to be honest with you. Let's see. Next question is from Big Russ. We got lots of Russes in the chat. I've got the deluxe drink package for Anthem in 20 days. Where do you recommend I go for some high quality cocktails? I'm a bartender myself, so I hope to connect with some bartenders there. Ooh, a couple places stand out. You're on Anthem, okay? Because I was thinking of another ship. Well, the pub is always a great place. But I think if you're looking for cocktail, well, they have good. Yeah, the pub is a good place to start. Schooner Bar, that's like number 2, maybe even number 1. I'm trying to think of Boleros. Boleros, if you're into like mojitos or things like that, they are really good at that. So go for those 3 places, but they're all the bars have their own little unique vibe to them. Actually, a really cool spot is in 270. There's a bar in the back. It's often overlooked, but that's a great bar as well. Just great views. So let's see here. Kathleen wants to know, are you going to blog from the Anthem of the Seas? We're going on an Anthem to Norway in September. I am. I'm not doing a live blog every day. We've kind of sunset that. But because it's new to me, and I think like many people like yourself, Kathleen, it's not exactly in the ordinary. We haven't really covered it much at RoyalCaribbeanblog.com. I will be doing live blogs from each of the ports we're going to. So I'll have a live blog of we're going to, I think, 4 ports. So every day that we're in port, I'll have a report of what I did, how it was, where this worked, and kind of take you through my day, as it were, in port. And hopefully that'll make sense to you. But yeah, that is the plan. Let's see. Our next question. Brandon wants to know, where do I think Utopia of the Seas will set sail from? Somewhere in Florida. And I say that because last week, Royal Caribbean said during their earnings call with analysts that Utopia will visit Perfect Day at Coco Key. So that basically means it's not going out of Galveston or somewhere else in the world, for that matter. Oh, Arthea, no, you don't. No, you don't. Sweaty Florida's gross. Actually, it was really nice the last couple of days in Florida. We had a really strong breeze, but that's coming to an end. And Florida summer is coming bad, and it's going to be, it hurts. No bueno. Aaron Ross. Aaron, thank you for the super chat, buddy. 3 days till Ovation to Alaska. I'm packing as I watch and listen. Looking forward to most on your cruise next week. Ooh, definitely the ports. Definitely the fjords. I love the natural beauty of Alaska, and I just every time that draws me back every single time we've ever gone. So for this reason, I am equally excited for the natural beauty and the fjords, and just be able to take it in. I hope the weather cooperates, but definitely are my time in port and seeing the doing as much as I can in there and taking it all in. Let's see here. Next question. Koopa's World. Hey, what's going on, man? First time catching you live from Southampton. Welcome. I'll be in Southampton next week. I've never been there before. Looking forward to that. Hope you're doing well. Justin Martinez. Justin, thank you again for the super chat. Hey, Matt. Cruising out of Galveston on Allure with the deluxe beverage package. I've heard there are restrictions on using the package on day one while in Galveston. What are those restrictions? Yes. Texas liquor laws are weird. They require that the liquor, I think, be made or distilled or distributed from Texas businesses only, but it only applies, Justin, while your ship is in Texas water. So basically, while your ship is in the terminal and for like an hour or two as your ship departs, once it gets out of Texas waters, then the bars open up. So it's a limited window in which it occurs, but basically you're going to be limited to Tito's vodka, and not every single liquor will be available. But it's only for that part over there. So that's the rule, right? And that only applies to Galveston because that rule only really applies to Texas. And since Galveston is the only port that Royal Caribbean sails out of Texas, that's the only departure port that it applies to. Agneto wants to go on Anthem of the Seas and water available free of charge. No, you have to pay for it. If you have a drink package, it's included, but otherwise bottled water costs extra. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you for the super chat. Very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hassan wants to know what's my favorite Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Wonder of the Seas. It's the latest and greatest. It's just I'm a sucker for that. It's hard to go wrong with a new cruise ship. Really love it. So, yeah. Don wants to know, I purchased the drink package with the buy one, get one half price. Do you think it will go down even more? How do I say? I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it may or may not. But you did what I would have recommended you do, Don. And that is you bought it and you've now locked in the price. Great. If there is a better price tomorrow, next week, next month, you can always cancel and rebook. As to whether or not it will go down or not, it's hard to say. These days, I mean, it almost seems like it's not going to go down. And the reason why I say that is because demand is so high for things like the drink package that it's hard to see Royal Caribbean say, yes, we're going to discount it, because why would they discount a product that's selling really well? Does that make sense? So you never know, but you're doing the right thing. So now you just keep checking back periodically and see if you can get a better deal. You never know. James wants to know suggestions on securing a lunch at a specialty restaurant for a lunch on Embarkation Day on Oasis. unable to make any reservations on either website or app. Correct. Yeah, usually they don't do lunch reservations, and certainly not on embarkation day, but it's really easy, James. Get on board the ship and just go to the specialty restaurant as early as you can. If you can board earlier, I mean, if you roll in at 1 o'clock, that could be problematic. But if you're rolling in earlier than that, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Just go there immediately. Don't dilly-dally. Don't go somewhere else. Like when we were on Wonder of the Seas in December, that's what we did. We got on board and we were like, all right, we went straight to Giovanni's and we got a table because they were all there. So it's more of a first come first serve. So that's why I'm saying don't dilly dally, if that makes sense. Let's see here. I think I see a super chat from our good friend Tony Chiaffi. Tony, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Matt, we were on Anthem of the Seas a few weeks ago, and the lamb chops at Jamie's were outstanding. Enjoy your cruise. Thank you. I have the 3-night dining package because I think the unlimited dining package was sold out. So I'm probably gonna go to Jamie's. I think I'm gonna do Jamie's, Zumi for sure, and something else. I have not decided yet. I don't love Wonderland. I don't love shops. I may go back to Zumi again. You never know. Maybe I'll mix it up. We'll figure it out. Let's see here. Svetlana wants to have ever been on an Asia cruise. I have not been on an Asia cruise yet. I'm doing my first European cruise next week, so it's baby steps, but eventually I'd love to check it out. Ashley wants to know, what is the latest time to disembark? Right around 9:30 or so. It depends on the ship. By that point, they're making a lot of PA announcements, and they might even actually call you down like, hey, will Ashley come down? You got to get off the ship. Which is why I did an article about this on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com about why you want to get off the ship as early as you can. There's really very little point in staying on board. Number one, keep in mind, they're going to kick you out of your room after about 8 or so. So at that point, I mean, you can go get breakfast. That's totally cool. But there's really not much else to do on board. All the activities are shut down. So really, if you're not in your cabin and you're not eating, the other thing you're going to be doing is sitting around and just, I guess you can enjoy the view. You can be outside on the pool deck in a chair or on a chair somewhere else, but that's about it. It's like, it's pretty boring. And I'm like, you know what? Every time I've tried to stay on board as long as I can to prolong the vacation, it's not really a vacation. It's more just like delaying the inevitable is what it feels like. So hope that makes sense. Joanne Griffith is here, probably making plans right now to have dinner at our favorite Turkish restaurant. Laminating my Wonder luggage tags right now. Nice. Fantastic. James, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Hi, Matt. Thanks. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Belinda wants to know, how is Navigator of the Seas? I love it. I'm riddled with anxiety and so nervous. Oh, no. It's because it's your first cruise. You should not be. You should be excited. I mean, nervous excitement. Yeah, sure. But you should be excited. Navigator is a fabulous ship. I think her upgrades that she got during her recent refurbishment in 2019 were amazing. It's a great value. And those itineraries are great out of LA. So you should be excited. You're going to have a great time on board. The only problem you're going to have, Belinda, I'm going to be honest with you. The only problem you're going to have is you're going to go on there and be like, I want to book another one and another one and another one. It's very addictive, but you're going to have a great, great time. With people with severe food allergies, Royal is very, very adamant about this. If you go to any restaurant, main dining room, especially restaurants, and anywhere in which there is a waiter, they will ask you, the first thing out of their mouth probably is welcome. The second thing out of their mouth is, do we have anybody with food allergies or dietary restrictions? They're very adamant about that, and they do a great, great job with taking care of those needs, certainly. Hassan, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Are you looking forward to trying Icon of the Seas? Heck yes, I am. Absolutely. I'm super excited. New ship, new class. I mean, it's a lot of new things there. This is an opportunity for Royal Caribbean to really, move forward and push the envelope a little bit more. Because it's a white paper ship. Also, I'm going on Wonder of the Seas in August. What is the best specialty restaurant you liked? Ooh. I mean, Izumi Hibachi is my favorite. Like, in terms of like, hey, if I could have the food in front of me right now, Izumi Hibachi I love, but Mason Jar I really like quite a bit. I like the bar area and the drinks. They're fantastic. The food's not bad as well. But I think still Izumi Hibachi is just like, I mean, I love sushi and I love fried rice. So, it's hard to go wrong with that. No, Kathleen, when I say I don't love chops, first of all, I try not to eat red meat anymore. So like that's like 80% of the menu. Okay. So when you remove 80% of the menu, I don't get that excited about salmon or chicken or lamb is still red meat. So that's just a me thing. Trust me, chops is great. A lot of people love chops. It's nothing wrong with chops. I apologize for scaring anybody. Me personally, I should have qualified that by saying it's just a me thing. It's a me thing. That's all. Teresa, I think it's going to be too bright for Northern Lights. I think we missed our opportunity. Not that I ever thought we were really going to see it, but I think that's more of a winter thing, unfortunately. That's okay. That's okay. Just another opportunity to go maybe see it in Alaska or something like that. Luther, thank you for the super chat. My next cruise is on Oasis of the season. I booked the Crown Loft Suite. Nice. What amenities come with the room, genie, drinks, or priority seats? Is that Star or Sky class? If it's Star class, then you get a Royal Genie, and that's amazing. If it's a Sky class one, then you get free internet. You get the concierge services, the suite lounge. Those are the biggies right there. If it's Star class, then you get a genie. In either case, Luther, you're going to get an email from either your genie or from the concierge about if you're in Sky class, you get an email about a week before the cruise. The genie usually reaches out more like a month ahead of time, and they start getting the ball rolling there, and they'll explain all the benefits and things of that nature. Basically, if it is Star class and you have a genie, like everything's included with your cruise fare except for like souvenirs and the spa, basically. But internet's included with both. The suite lounge is included with both. Coastal kitchen's included with both. So yeah. Belinda, thank you for the kind words. Sorry guys, so many comments. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. Team Smash wants to know, how many times can you reprice your cruise? As many as necessary, as many as you can spot. There's an opportunity for it. There's no limit. It's not like once or anything like that. What's Gabby doing? Which is a great name. It's my daughter's name. Allure in 6 days. Can we take food from the main dining room and Windjammer to eat in our cabin? Absolutely yes, 100%. Let's see. Tell her I have no idea how much a Royal Caribbean hoodie is on board. And there's many designs. There's not only one. So yeah. Snack Daddy, we scored a 16-night segment on the Ultimate World Cruise visiting Beijing, Vietnam, and Singapore. Dude, that is awesome. What's your take on Serenade? I love Serenade. It's a Radiance class ship. I did Serenade in Alaska last year, and I love the Radiance class. You know, it's not over the top like the Oasis class. It's like, I can't believe all these things are on a cruise ship. It's not like that, but it is probably the best example of classic cruising that Royal Caribbean has. Still has a couple different great, especially restaurants. It's got the Centrum with the shows on board, so it's a great thing. You know, just obviously you're on that cruise to go to those amazing places, and the beauty of that ship is you have wonderful views of the ocean all around you, so it is really, really good. Ashley wants to know, what is the best travel agency for booking the cruise? I don't ever see your agent name. Oh, MEI Travel is our sponsor. If you go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, Ashley, RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, it's a big yellow form. Fill out that form. They'll contact you. Animator wants to know, I'll be on the maiden. Actually, me and Jen will both be on the maiden voyage. So yeah, we got it covered over there. Clay wants to know, why were just Quantum of the Seas visits to Skagway canceled, not Ovation? Because the dock can only handle one mega ship. That'd be Ovation. For why they pick Ovation and Quantum, I have no idea. But that's essentially what they've only canceled what they need to cancel, and I believe that's the reason. As far as I know, that's a guess. To be perfectly fair, I don't know that like for a fact, but yeah. Sarah, my cruise is not for another year. Is that why there's not a lot of info yet? Yes, correct. When as you know, Sarah, I always talk about book early, book early, book early, but you really can't plan many aspects of your cruise until much closer to your sail day, probably about 6 months or so beforehand. So that's exactly why you're not seeing a whole lot. So basically, make a calendar reminder. I often tell people 6 months before your cruise to check back again, and those things will become available. It's just magic. There is not actually a date, Sarah, in which Royal Caribbean says, oh, this many days before your cruise, you'll be able to book, shore excursions or things like that. They just magically show up at some point. So just keep an eye on it, periodically check on it, things like that. Thrilling Vids, I booked the Allure on their upcoming change to 3-night itineraries. Do you think I'll be able to have a good experience despite such a short time on a large ship? Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, obviously, with less time means you have less, not only less days, but you have less opportunity to do it all, but that's okay. That means just book another cruise after that and come back again. I don't think you necessarily need. I mean, even on a 7-night cruise, you can't do everything on an Oasis class ship, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Think of it, thrilling vids, like doing a day trip to a city, right? Whether it's New York or Chicago or LA, you can't do it all in one day either. But that's just impetus to you do what you can, and it's a rationale to book another cruise after that. That's how I look at it. But it's great. Why not? Enjoy that. Being able to take advantage of an awesome ship. I love that Royal Caribbean is doing this. Having the Oasis class ships do short sailings. Because when I started RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, I remember in Port Canaveral specifically, the ships doing 3-night cruises were Majesty of the Seas and Enchantment of the Seas, and those are some small, old ships. And not the latest and greatest by any means. So I feel like with putting an Oasis class ship, a lot of people who are new to cruising they don't read RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. They don't get all these things about what they should book. Anyway, by having this is a really good. I think it's a better option to be able to cater to the new to cruise crowd, and I think people will just enjoy that. Sailor Cruiser wants to know, are drinks at Coco Key included by the beverage package? Yes. Cruising with Maurice is specialty dining free in a Sky Class suite? No. Coastal Kitchen is, but not the specialty dining. Let's see here. Kathleen wants to know, would the gamble for a guaranteed stay for Norway saving over $1,000? Oh, was it worth it? For $1,000? Yes, I would. I mean, as long as you're not look, here's the worst case scenario, Kathleen. You're going to get a cabin that's like all the way forward or all the way aft. That's honestly going to be the worst case scenario. I can't think of anything that'd be worse than that. It's not a bad thing. I've done that before. It's really not terrible as long as you're okay with it. Like, some people really are adamant about not having a room location like that, but $1,000 is a lot of money, and shore excursions in Norway are not cheap. And certainly booking another cruise isn't cheap. So $1,000 saved is $1,000 you can apply towards some amazing shore excursions, dining, another cruise. So yeah, I think it's absolutely worthwhile. Daniel wants to know, going on Grandeur of the Seas, do you make reservations for shows on the smaller ships? No, there's no need for it. Just show up, basically. So you're good to go. Let's see. Next cruise. You see what's on my mind. Day one. Thank you for the message. Our cruise came with a free meal at Johnny Rockets and shows a $68 credit. Can we go to multiple times, spend that amount, or is it one-time visit regardless of cost? I would talk to whoever got you that, probably a travel agent, right? Whoever you booked a cruise with almost certainly gave you that offer. So you got to read the fine print. I don't know specifically what that is, but essentially, if I'm understanding you, and I could be wrong on this, but based on what you've written, it sounds to me like you have a free meal at Johnny Rockets and $68 credit. So they're two separate things, okay? So the meal at Johnny Rockets is you go there, eat as much as you can, and that's it. It's not like unlimited Johnny Rockets. It's one visit to Johnny Rockets. Again, read the rules, and maybe they did give you unlimited Johnny. I don't know. That'd be number one. The $68 is a credit against your account. It's onboard credit. So you can, it's not like you apply. You don't be like, I'd like to buy this, souvenir, or go to this restaurant, and I want to apply my onboard credit. It doesn't work that way. Basically, it's a credit against your account. So if you spend $100, during your cruise, and you have a $68 credit, you only owe the difference. And that's essentially how that works, if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly. Let's see here. Next question. Carrie, did I see the former Splendor of the Seas in Port Canaveral yesterday? I did not. That's a Marella Discovery. I know that Splendor of the Seas was sold a number of years ago to Marella. I know that it's in Marella, right? I think I have that right. Anyway, I've seen her in other ports, but not in Port Canaveral yesterday. It's always nice when you see one. When you see an old Royal Caribbean ship, it's like, oh, isn't that cute? Jess wants to know, what's the lowest I've ever seen the drink package for Freedom? Well, I mean, I've seen it back in back in 2017. I probably saw it for like $40-something, but that's irrelevant. And I tell you this, Jess, if you're trying to price the drink package, Here's what I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you that it doesn't matter, only in the sense that, you know, drink packages aren't like, it's not like you can price match. You can't call Royal Caribbean and be like, I'd like to price match the drink package. Yeah, this guy on the internet who looks like Brad Pitt, who's been talking about Royal Caribbean. Yeah, he said it was like, it doesn't matter. So my advice to you is this: if you want to get the drink package, or you think about getting the drink package, go and book it, lock in the price. If there's a better price tomorrow, next week, or next month, whenever before your cruise, you can always cancel and rebook and get the new price. And the reason why you want to book it now and not wait is the price could go up. So you guard against a price increase, but can still take advantage of a price decrease. I think we have a super chat that came in here. Jay Gold. Jay, thank you for the super chat. What to do in Miami in post-cruise with a 2 p.m. flight? A couple ideas. You can certainly do an Everglades tour. I know that Royal Caribbean will offer tours, like post-cruise shore excursions. You could do, but anyway, Everglades National Park tours. You go to the Aventura Mall, Aventura, Aventura. It's a very nice mall. You could go to the Frost Science Center. It's actually, the Frost Science Center is right downtown. So when you come off port, oh my God, that thing scared me. I don't know if you saw it. There was a construction, it's construction equipment. What is it? It's got one of those arms in the front. And anyway, it was like very close. And in my peripheral vision, I just see this big orange thing. And I'm like, and it made my heart jump. The Frost Science Center is right across from Port Miami. So when you cross the bridge or go through the tunnel from Port Miami, it's right there. That's a cool thing to do. So those are a couple things I can think of that would be worth your time there. Jim Rogers. Jim, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, here's Jim's question. Any ideas on how much to bid to get upgrades to Royal Up? No, the bids are a blind system, Jim. So you have no idea. First and foremost, just because there's Royal Up doesn't actually mean there's a stateroom to upgrade to. That's like the most important thing to keep in mind. Royal Caribbean uses Royal Up as a backup. In case somebody cancels at the last minute, they can go look at what the bids are. So even if you max bid, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that there's a room to upgrade to. So whatever you're comfortable with, you bid, but you should look at it, Jim, like playing the lottery. When you go play the lottery, you don't cancel, you don't quit your job. It's like, listen, I just played the lottery. I don't need this anymore. This is like, it's a similar but different, I get it, thought process. You place the bid, whatever you're comfortable with, and if you win it, you win it. You don't, you don't. If you really want to upgrade, you should call your travel agent and say, hey, how much to upgrade, and go from there. But otherwise, you could do. I've seen people have won their bids with minimum bids and max bids and everywhere in between, and there's no rhyme or reason to it because you have no idea. You have no idea if, even if there are rooms available, you have no idea if anyone else has placed a bid. You have no idea what the current high bid is. And again, some people say, well, just do max bid and you're good. Well, I mean, you can, but again, that doesn't mean you're actually going to win it, right? So, yeah. Hope that makes sense. Ryan, did I get your super chat? Ryan, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I do not see a message from Ryan, but Ryan, if I miss it, please feel free to type it in chat. Ashley, thank you for the super chat. Symphony's October 29th, 2023 Transatlantic. Balcony cabins are sold out while suites, traffic stopped, freaked me out again. Interior and ocean view cabins are not. Could something else be going on besides balcony truly being sold out? So balcony cabins are sold out while suites, interior, and ocean view are not. No, I mean, sometimes, so I often tell people, if you see something funky on the website, it just could be the website, and to give it a day or two. Balcony, it's not terribly surprising. Balconies are right in that perfect sweet spot of price and what you get. People love balconies. It's the most popular category of staterooms out there. I'm actually surprised that suites aren't sold out. Usually suites go first because there's very few of them to start with. But it's a transatlantic, and demand for a transatlantic cruise, Ashley, is very different than any other sailing. There's a lot less demand for it. So it's not unheard of. It's not crazy, like out of this world. I can't believe that. So I'm not like surprised, but it is weird. That's all. But I would either attribute it to one of two things. One, the website just being weird, and two, more than likely, it's a transatlantic. Demand is going to be funky, and it is what it is. Gary, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. I see Ed Byron in the chat. What's up, Ed? Good to see you. Rage Shifty, thank you for the super chat. I've heard 2025 is the last year that Norway's allowing fjords cruising due to the greenhouse gas emissions. Have you heard this? I've heard this. I don't know the year, and I don't know. I don't know what you said is correct. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know the dates or the details on it. But I have heard that they are or going to enact some sort of legislation around that. Again, these things change, and I don't know. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. But the fact also, when I booked this cruise, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to be in England, so let me book a cruise. And the fact that he's going to Norway, I was like, oh yeah, that works too. So, like I often tell, it's always a good idea just to book your cruise sooner than later anyway. Gary, I found your super chat. Gary, thank you for the super chat earlier. I've booked a cruise on one of the seas departing Port Canaveral via travel agent. They booked us for a night in the DoubleTree by Hilton, Orlando at SeaWorld. It's worth getting a hotel near the port. Not really. You're basically from that hotel, I know exactly where that hotel is. You're probably about an hour away by car. I mean, let's look at it this way. Let me put it this way, Gary. Your check-in time is, let's say, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going to use that as an easy number. You can still sleep in, get breakfast, hit the road at 10. I mean, they're going to kick you out. Your checkout is usually 11 o'clock anyway. So you have a nice leisurely morning, hit the road 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you'll be at the port right at 11. I mean, it's actually to your benefit. And what I mean by that is, the morning of your cruise, you're excited, you're pumped, you can't sleep, you probably woke up too early anyway. Having an hour built in to burn is actually probably a good thing. It'll do you a favor. So that way you're not waiting at the port at like 9 o'clock kind of thing. That makes sense. So I think and you're going to save. I'm sure that hotel is cheaper than hotels by the port. So I don't think you've got a problem with that at all. I know I missed Ryan. And if I missed your super chat, just type super chat in capital letters and I can go back and get it right there. Got a lot of friends from India in the house. Welcome. Glad to have you guys here. Oh, Ryan left a super chat below Jay Gold's. All right, let me go back to Jay. Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Thank you again. Oh, I found it. Thank you. Whoever posted that, thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Ryan. Do dining nights change? We sail on winter. This is in July, August, and are planning our specialty dining. We have been looking at the main dining room menu, trying to find the best nights for us to make the reservations. Yes, there's a different theme every night, if that's what you're asking. And if you're also asking, well, is it always, French night on day 2 or something like that? It may not be. So what you want to do, Ryan, if you can, is, well, one thing is, about 2 or 3 days before your cruise, the menus will get loaded into the Royal Caribbean app and you can check it there. Obviously, you're sitting here in May and you'd like to book your cruise, plan your dinner reservations in advance. Plan in advance, book early, all that good stuff. You can always make a reservation and change your mind later. As you know, you can cancel dining reservations just like drink packages in the cruise plan. There's no penalty for that. So if you want to make your best guess based on maybe something else you've seen from past cruises and roll the dice that way, I mean, there's not much risk involved. Just got to, keep track of it again. All right, we're caught up on the super chats there, I think. And thank you. That was it's Kesh. Thank you for doing the HR work for us here today. I appreciate you. Kristen, thank you for the super chat. Ahoy! When will the 2025 Alaska cruise season deployment be released? Enjoy Norway. Thank you. So usually Royal Caribbean releases new itineraries twice a year. Once is around November, December, and the other is in the spring around March and April. Usually Alaska is released in the first part around late November, early December. Usually, again, that could change. We don't know. But they've done that. That's been the pattern for the last, I don't know how many years. So it stands to reason it's probably going to be the pattern again this year. So probably right around the end of November. Tyler Diedrich. Hey, Tyler. What's up, man? Glad your first flight went well. Dude, my first flight was amazing. We were on time. It was like 2 hours. We obviously had a tailwind that brought us up here from Orlando to New York. So it was great. My next flight is at like almost 11 o'clock, 10:55. So I have a nice 12-hour layover, which is why I got a day room, which is one of my favorite little tricks, by the way. If you're coming into your cruise and you're either coming in, this is probably more useful the day your cruise ends. So your flight is on until the afternoon or the evening. you have a number of hours to burn, probably at least 3 or 4. Look for a hotel that has a day room. There's a number of websites that sell day passes. I believe daypass.com is one of them. I don't have an affiliation with them, but I know they're there. This is great because I don't sit in the airport, number one. Number two, I can lay down, I can take a nap, I have my own bathroom, I shower, kids can watch TV, you can order food. Actually, I ordered Uber Eats, and I ate one, a New York City bagel, best in the world, and I ordered one to bring on the airplane to have as a little snacky snack later on, because these things are amazing. Little, I'm putting it. The only reason I'm not taking it out is probably going to take it out. It's like 1,000 sesame seeds in here, but look at this. Oh, New York City bagels. This was worth it. Uber Eats. Actually, it was Grubhub because Uber Eats for some reason wasn't working today. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, I got my bagel. Again, things you can only do at a. I actually never tried ordering food to the terminal, but I suppose it's possible. But in a hotel, it's a lot easier right there. Day one media. An agent at Royal Caribbean accidentally canceled our honeymoon cruise. Thankfully, their customer service got our cruise back at original price. Great. You suggest to ask them for compensation. Now, other than the heartache that happened when they accidentally canceled, you got everything back at the original price. So this seems to be like no harm, no foul. I mean, because there's a couple. This is obviously like one of like a bazillion reasons why a travel agent would really be helpful for you in this case. But I mean, I don't know how much heartache and time you wasted going through that whole process of trying to get it all rectified, but you got it all rectified. So I don't know that what you could do in that front. And I generally don't advocate trying to fish for onboard credit or compensation, especially if you got what you wanted, because I'm sure when they accidentally get it's their fault. I'm not denying that. But when it happened, I'm sure the first thing out of your mouth was something along the lines of, hey, can you fix this? Can you get this back for us? Kind of a thing. And it seems like wish granted. But again, I understand that it shouldn't have happened. It was a mistake on their part. This is when a good travel agent comes in handy. It's not going to help you in this situation, but this has happened to me before, where my cruise was accidentally canceled, and my travel agent worked on my behalf, and they know how to turn those knobs and push those buttons and do all that magic there. So, Shua, thank you for the super chats. Shua's message is Wonder of the Seas in 146 days. Nice. St. Thomas question. Boarding time's 8 p.m. Sunset is at 6. Will there be enough time to see the sunset at Magens Bay and get back in time? No. Not from Magens Bay. No, that is too close. And the traffic in St. Thomas is notoriously bad. I mean, look, here's the thing. Let me say this. Here's what okay, let me take this back for a second. If you literally sat there at 6:06, sun's going down, if that is like if 6:06 is like when the sun's like down, like that's it, and you're in the taxi at 6:07 or 6:10, that's fine. 2 hours, you're almost certainly making it back, right? But that is too close. I mean, I prefer when I plan a tour, forget your sunset. When I plan my day in any port and I'm on my own, I plan on being back at the ship 2 hours early. That way, if it takes a little longer than that, like if we're delayed half an hour, 45 minutes, I still have some padding there, right? If you're leaving, my concern is the sunset is at 6, but what time will you actually be in the taxi? Because if it's closer to 7, that would be a mistake. Once you get to 7 o'clock, that means you only have an hour to get back. And I have seen traffic super backed up. I'm going to share a quick story. We were in Magens Bay, St. Thomas, and we shared a cab with a couple who were there they were on Carnival, and obviously we're on Royal Caribbean, thank God. And there was super bad traffic, such bad traffic. And the Carnival ship was leaving early that the couple that was with us, they asked we were stopped anyway. They got out and they literally ran to make the ship because running was going to move faster than the traffic. Now we had an extra hour on them because our ship all aboard time was an hour later. So we just sat back in the car and eventually we got there. But that's what my point is that in the Caribbean, St. Thomas is one of those islands where I feel like traffic is a concern. Like Cozumel, I wouldn't think I've never seen that kind of bad traffic, but I have seen that kind of bad traffic in St. Thomas before. So, again, if you're watching the sunset at 6:06 and you get in the car at 6:10, okay, you could probably make it there. Probably won't be a problem. Even with bad traffic, you're back there at 7:10. Close, but you still have a little bit of runway there. But if you're getting in the car at 7, that'd be a problem. So it's in that like danger zone of like, I'm not sure I love this idea, but I'm also very cautious about that. Nancy, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Nancy. I don't see a message from you, but thank you. Elvira, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for the very kind words. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. I hate flying. I'm a very nervous flyer. But I'm not gonna let it stop me. But that doesn't mean that my stomach isn't like in knots and twisting right now. But hopefully everything will go fine and it'll be a nice boring flight. And I have lots of movies to watch. And if I can get a little bit of sleep, I'd be very happy about that because the whole jet lag thing. Once I get there, and I'll be so relieved to be in Finland, but then I'm going to be so jet lagged. I already know that, so we'll see. Let's see. Jim wants to know: are the North Star and other attractions leaving Odyssey in 25? No, no, definitely not. Carrie B, thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate you. Russell sailing on Symphony of the Seas from Barcelona in July. Does the ship currency remain in dollars? Yes. Ashley, first time taking a 12 and 15-year-old boy on a cruise in Nassau in July. What would be interesting for their age group? That's a great question. Obviously, number one, it depends on your kids. I mean, I have a 12-year-old girl, and what she likes and what her friends like can be very different. So here's what I'm going to tell you, Ashley, and I don't even know what ship you're on because you didn't mention the ship. What you want to do is look at a past cruise compass. The Cruise Compass is a daily newsletter which has a list of activities and things like that. So go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. In our main menu, there's a link that says Cruise Compass. Click on that. Find the ship you're going on and find a recent Cruise Compass from that itinerary. And it'll list all the activities for that sailing. And you know what? All the activities are pretty much going to be the same for your sailing. Maybe different times, but they're going to have things to do. For most boys, I don't know what ship you're on, but there's a sports court, basketball court, soccer, dodgeball, things of that nature. But there's a lot of other things, pools. But you got to look at the ship to know which one it is. William, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I don't see a message from you, but thank you, William. So that's two I'm missing. William and Nancy. All right, I'm going to keep an eye out for both of you. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. Appreciate you. Oh, I found Nancy. One down. Leaving on Harmony in 48 days. Granddaughter and I are in a junior suite. Can the rest of the family not in suites join us in the suite line for embarkation? Do we have to go separate? Usually you have to go separate. They're pretty adamant about that. Again, you could, maybe they'll let you do it, but you should be prepared for the answer to be no. But not to worry, Nancy. Even if you board first, you're going to be separated about like 10 minutes or something like that. So get a nice table in the windjammer for them. And but yeah, it's going to be it's separate things, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I guess. Thank you for the super chat, though. We have time for a couple more questions, guys. I'm going to head on. I've already been here for an hour. Adam wants to know, how can I be part of your group cruise? It's a casino comped cruise. So the activity, I guess, I don't know how that works. If you had a casino discount, that's fine. Comped, I'm not sure. But a lot of our activities, Adam, let me put it this way. Number one, most of our activities are open to everybody. The other thing to keep in mind is if you already booked it, this might be too late now. But if you have like a freebie, contact MEI Travel and ask them. I want to be part of the group, but I got this free casino comp. And they're going to understand that. They can still book casino rates. I don't know about comped cruises. But at the very least, worst case scenario, most of the activities are still available to everybody, Adam. When we get close to the sailing, within a couple of weeks, we post the events, like here's a schedule of events. And most of them are open to everybody, so including yourself, Adam. So there could be a couple that might not be included there, but obviously your cruise is free, so you're still ahead of the game. Nancy, tips for greeting you on a cruise. We saw you with your wife on Allure, but I didn't want to be a bother. Oh, no, you should definitely. Nancy, and everybody, if you see me on a cruise ship and want to say hello, please say hello unless I am with my children yelling at my children. If I'm with my kids, that's fine. But it's very awkward when I'm yelling at my kids. And then somebody's like, oh, hi, Matt. And I have to go from angry dad to, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Don't do that again. But other than that, please feel free to say hello to me. You're not bothering me. My wife is used to it. It's all good. As long as you don't linger and like, what are we doing next, guys? Like, not a what about Bob situation. Totally fine. Tyler Dietrich. Tyler, thank you for the super chat. Buy yourself a drink on the plane to help it go a bit smoother. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. I'll save that for Anthem. but appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. RCT Phoenix, thank you for the super chat. Got up Harmony of the Seas, first time in a Crown Loft Suite. Ended up booking another cruise for the Western Caribbean in the same exact room. Now I understand why people rave about Crown Loft Suites, dude. Those rooms are amazing. So the Crown Loft Suites are those 2-story rooms, and the location, the cabin itself, yeah, they're amazing. They're really, really great rooms. And yeah, you're living that sweet life right there. Nice. Janiza, I'm not saying that right, and I apologize. Is there a formal night every night on every cruise? Yes. There's at least one. Depends on the length of your cruise, how many there can be. But usually the first one's on day 2. It depends on the itinerary, but almost always the first formal night, is on day 2. Neil, did you figure out how you're going to get from London to Southampton for Anthem, as the train strikes likely look to be on? Yes, I'm probably taking Uber. I know I can take the National Express bus. Many of you have recommended it. But it just seems like I just like Uber. I like Lyft. I like ride sharing. It's not terribly expensive. I get to go when I want to go. I don't worry about I'm more worried about my luggage and being able to get from my luggage to wherever the nearest bus stop is, which isn't that far. I'm staying in Mayfair, I think. I looked it up. Anyway, I'm just being lazy. I'm probably taking Uber, but Neil, if I'm like, maybe I'll change my mind and go on National Express. I'm also hoping that the strike is technically for the 13th of May. And I'm planning on going on the 14th, which is when my cruise is. So it may not impact me, but I've not booked any train tickets or anything like that. But my Uber is probably what I'm leaning towards, but I might change my mind if, I change my mind a lot about what my plans are going to be. That's like one of my greatest faults, is that I come up with a plan and then I change it 8 more times before I finally decide on one right there. Jacob, recently listened to your podcast here mentioning Club Royale. Once you make Prime, is your annual free cruise just for you or for a guest as well? I have to be on it, so I can't gift it, but my wife can come on. It's for 2 people. So obviously that second person is free. If I brought my kids, then I'd have to pay for them. This was William Super Chat. Thank you, Chantel. Allure on September 17th. Can't wait. I purchased the tip package and also purchased an non-alcoholic drink package. Does my tip package cover my drink package tips as well? No, but because you bought a drink package, gratuity is included in there. So that might not make any sense. You prepaid gratuities. That covers your stateroom attendant and your dining room staff. Okay. Then you bought the non-alcoholic drink package, and that covers, that includes gratuity for any drinks that you order from anybody on the ship, right? If you bought, as an example, though, if you purchased a beer, which is an alcoholic drink, there would still be gratuity on that. Does that make sense? Susie Kidd, thank you for this epic super chat. Oh, thank you. We're cruising for the first time in 7 days. Thank you for all the information in your videos and blog. Feeling very prepared. You are very welcome. Have a great, great time. Awesome. And on that note, I think we're going to wrap things up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here. Really appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you for coming by in the weird time. Next week, where will I be next week? On Anthem? I don't know what next week's going to hold, guys. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I will try to make it work. It's going to be, and then it's definitely not going to be at 7:30 Eastern because I'm going to be in Norway. We'll figure it out. But next week will also be wonky. But then the week after, we're back and everything will be good. Yes, everything will be good. So yeah, one more week of weird timing, what have you. But we'll do a live broadcast there. But thank you all very much. I'm going to say thank you to our super chatters before we get going here. Susie, thank you. RCC Phoenix, thank you. Teller Dietrich, thank you. William, thank you. Ed, thank you. Nancy, thank you. Shua, thank you. Kristen, thank you. Rage Shifty, thank you. Carrie, thank you. Ashley, thank you. Ryan, thank you. Jim, thank you. Jay, thank you. Luther, thank you. Hassan, thank you. James, thank you. Tony, thank you. Justin, thank you. Aaron, thank you. Luna, thank you. Russ, thank you. Justin, thank you. Brittany, thank you. Michael S., thank you. Leor, thank you. Whitney, thank you. And Desiree, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out. I know I did not get to every single question. If you still have a question, you can post it on our message boards over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, or we're back again next Monday or somewhere around there to talk with you more here on YouTube. Until then, have a great rest of your day, everybody. Stay safe out there. We'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.